Welcome to the Nutrigenomic Nation podcast with Brian Highfield, certified nutritionist, author, speaker, and founder of multiple successful companies in the health world. Brian is known for educating healthcare professionals and others on improving their health and their life through breakthroughs in nutrition, technology, and biochemistry. On the podcast, Brian interviews thought leaders in the world of nutrition and natural health. He and his guests share the secrets of a whole life natural approach to health and the life-altering results you can get by making easy changes to your diet and daily routine.
Well, welcome to another episode of Nutrigenomic Nation, where we talk about topics related to your genetic health. Today, we have a very special guest. We have a nutritionist, Ramona Lehadus. I hope I pronounced that right. The European pronunciation there, Ramona.
Almost there.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the program. And we want to get to know you a little bit. So Ramona, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what made you want to become a nutritionist?
Hi, Brian. Thank you for inviting me on. My background, I grew up in the countryside with lots of animals and growing plants and, everything for food. And then I went to the big cities and I studied and I wanted to get into environmental health. I went to environmental sciences. I did the university in environmental science, but after I finished, I realized it's not what I wanted. So I worked for a few years, and then because I had my own personal health issues, I got into nutrition. I realized that what we eat actually impacts the most our health. So I did the nutritional therapist course. And I fell in love, like literally I fell in love. In the same period, my fiancé at the time, he got sick, he had cancer. So nutrition was our main focus. And after that, I decided to do a master's because I already had an undergrad degree, so it was no point to do a second one. So I did a master's of research in London. In human nutrition and metabolic disorders, which opened my eyes so much about everything and all the issues that we face. And I'm still dealing with some personal health issues, but basically, yeah, my own personal health journey brought me to nutrition.
Awesome. So, and I know about you a little bit about, you really have a focus on metabolic syndrome, autoimmune disorders, and also reversing poor digestion. And you do that through lifestyle changes. Can you talk a little bit about how our lifestyle can affect these different disease processes?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my main focus because the easiest way would be to prevent, of course. But as we see around us, we're getting sicker and sicker, and we don't realize that food plays a major role in that. So I think with the agricultural revolution, in the last century or so, we've got so many new products, so many processed foods, and so many items that have never ever been in the human diet before. It's just an experiment, really. So we don't know what's going on, and they haven't been tested for a long time. So we're just eating this, complex bomb of items that have been developed separately, but they never been tested together. And then we get, new diseases, and we get obese children by eating normal food, and we get cavities and malformations and genetic disorders and autoimmune disorders, multiple, that have never been in human history. So that got me, thinking and trying to help my clientele to try to fix their health by approaching, the way they eat. Obviously, you can't just say stop eating a complete category of foods unless obviously you're trying to overcome a very serious disease. But it's very important to pay attention to what you eat, and having the knowledge that gives you the power of your own health.
Awesome. So you talk about, this diet rehab. And so, it's one of the most important lifestyle decisions that someone can make. I mean, talk a little bit about what are, if you are dealing with one of those issues, what are some of the things that you really want to focus on for your diet?
So diet rehab is like a concept, like a mantra of mine. Basically, I want to help people realize that dieting is not the solution. Jumping on a diet, for a short period of time, trying to fix something is not going to change anything. You have to change your lifestyle. And I hate using the word diet. It's like diet is supposed to be what you eat, on a day-to-day basis. But we use the word diet for restrictive regimens and all these protocols and all these fads that you lose 10 pounds in 2 days or whatever, and magic pills and magic bullets. It doesn't work that way. So that's my whole approach with diet rehab. And I want to be able to teach people to learn why dieting is not good and to learn what to do instead. For example, instead of jumping on the newest diet or whatever. I mean, there are good diets, and most diets you can lose weight, definitely. But are you going to stay on that diet for the rest of your life in order to keep the, weight off? No, people just want to do it for a short time and then go back to enjoy, eating whatever they want whenever they want. So you have to do long-term lifestyle changes, and you have to understand why some particular types of foods impact you differently than other people. Because other people will be able to eat, I don't know, pizza, burgers all day, every day, and maybe don't have any, immediate physical effects or feel unwell, but it will affect you differently because you have different backgrounds. And maybe your health level is different, So depending where you are, some foods will agree with you and some don't. And if you make some lifestyle changes and have a better, food hygiene and sleep hygiene, because that's very important. Also stress control, which nobody wants to hear, but, if you are stressed, you can be on the best diet in the world and eat only grass-fed meats and pastured foods and organic veg. You're going to be sick. Because you're stressed. Like, stress is a killer. So, it's very important to know what harms you, take it out of the way for a while, get better, and then try to see if it harms you again. Most likely it won't, if you took care of the cause, because food is not necessarily the cause. Yes, we have processed foods, we have high sugar foods, we have everything out there that we can possibly dream of. But it's not like you're going to eat cupcakes and ice cream for every meal, like everyone should know that that's not healthy. It's not normal. So yeah, just find what harms you and then, take it out for a while and then reintroduce it to see what's going on.
Awesome. I love your concept where you started there, that we should look at diets not as a short-term burst or a short-term how do you put it, restrictive type of event. It should be more of your long-term lifestyle. Your diet is what you eat over a long period of time, and so I love that. Talk a little bit more about stress and how that impacts our health. You said you can be the most nutritious eater, but if you have high stress levels, then it could have a huge negative effect.
So stress is a natural part of our, species. Is in our instinct, is in our primal brain. It drives us to get stressed so we can, survive. That's normal, is natural, is healthy. The problem is we stress ourselves with, the things that we're not supposed to get stressed. Like, we go to sleep at night, we set up an alarm, but we are going to sleep stressed because we don't know if the alarm is going to sound, in the morning. So things like this, stress, it harms us if it's too much, because when we get stressed, we release a lot of cortisol. It's a hormone. We release a lot of cortisol in our bodies. And what this hormone does is just literally pumps up the whole body to, use a lot of energy and be super alert in order to fix the problem at hand. Now, that's great if you're chased by a lion, or you lost your bus and you have to run to catch it. That's awesome. But it's not awesome if you're in it 20 hours a day, even in your sleep, because you're going to be at that pumped up level continuously. And that's going to raise the blood sugar level, because when we are super stressed, We draw out sugar from the reserves in order to use for energy, because we're not eating when we're stressed. Yeah, like if we run, we're not going to be able to eat in the same time. So raising the blood sugar level starts making the body to create insulin. And insulin is the so-called fat storage hormone. Okay. So no matter how good you're going to eat, no matter how much water you drink, even if you try to sleep, enough, if you are super stressed continuously, chronically, you're going to put on weight, you're not going to lose weight, and you're going to feel very unwell. You're going to get headaches, you're going to get high blood pressure, you're going to get hives, you're going to get eczema, you're going to feel, overdrawn because you've been in overdrive for so long.
So what do you have some of your favorite stress reducing techniques? I mean, what are some things that people can do to help manage their stress levels?
The easiest one is just close all the gadgets around you, close your eyes and focus on your breath. You don't have to meditate, you don't have to do yoga, you don't have to, do something fancy or pay for, an app or anything. Just focus on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. And ideally through your nose. Close your mouth. Yeah, no, it's very important. We have changed our maxillaries because we breathe through our mouth, and that's not healthy at all. So yeah, just focus on your breath. And if you do that for a couple of minutes, your stress level goes like super low.
So breathing techniques are good. What about sleep? Is that important for someone, for their health and nutrition?
Sleep is crucial. I know people out there are saying, you can get away with 4 hours a night. Yeah, you can get away with not sleeping at all. That's not a problem. But if you don't sleep, you mess up your circadian rhythm. We are made, anatomically, to wake up with the sunrise and to go to bed with the sunset. And when we don't really respect that, we change a little bit the internal clock that we have. So sleep is very important. And what I recommend to everyone, no matter what you do, by 10 p.m., you shouldn't be working anymore, unless obviously you work a night shift or something like that. If you have kids, they should be in bed by that time anyway. And for yourself, just, make sure you close everything down, go to bed by 10. It's better to go to bed earlier and wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. than go to bed at 1 a.m. and wake up later in the morning. Why? Because in the morning, when we wake up, we have the highest cortisol level, the stress. It's made that way naturally for tens of thousands of years. When we have that cortisol level high, we are super energetic and we can get so much more done early in the morning than if we would late at night. The second reason is when we go to sleep before 10, we get to catch that deep sleep, the REM sleep between around 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's the best time to go to sleep. If you don't do that, and if you go to sleep at 1 a.m., which you already lost all that, awesomeness that keeps you healthy and beautiful in good skin, it's gone. And then the next day, you're already halfway exhausted when you wake up. Doesn't matter how long you sleep. And the third thing, very important, is when you go to sleep, make sure your room is very dark, like pitch dark, no lights, no LEDs, no phone chargers, no nothing. And it's cool, like as cool as you can get it. Because the cooler it is, the more repair our body can do during our sleep. So, you want to do that to stay healthy and young until you're 150.
Those are some awesome tips. So yeah, I just love your message there. Look at diet, have the mindset to look at diet as over the long term rather than a short-term sacrifice. Get enough sleep, lower your stress levels. Is there anything else we haven't talked about today that you want to share with the audience?
I mean, yes, it's important to look at your diet and know what you eat and try to be good, most of the time. But more important than what you eat is when you eat. And to try to, you can eat 3 meals a day, that's fine, but try not to snack. Because snacking, again, as I mentioned earlier, the insulin, snacking keeps your insulin high all day long. So that means you never give break to your body to start using the energy you're getting in. So you're just telling your body, just pack energy. So you're going to put on weight. Snacking makes you put on weight. If you eat 7 small meals a day, it's not going to help you get better. So eat 2 or 3 meals a day, however you feel comfortable, but try to eat them in a 12-hour window or less. The smaller the window, the better it is, because when we don't eat, like after 3-4 hours, when we finish the meal, we finish the digestion, and then the body can focus on repairing itself. That's why sleep is important, because if you eat at 10 p.m. and you go to sleep at 1 a.m., you don't give time to your body to repair, because you're tired, you're overexhausted, and your body is just going to focus on calming down by the time you wake up instead of focusing on repair. We have cells dying every day, and we need to repair nerves, and we need to repair skin and organs that we don't see. You know, it's one thing to get a cut on your finger, and it's another thing to get one inside in your organs that you don't see. And that's how we get, you know, high blood pressure, because we get oxidation in our arteries, the cholesterol gets deposited, and so on and so forth. So it's very important when you eat, much more important than what you eat.
Awesome. Great stuff. So a lot of good advice shared today. How can our audience get to know more about you and just learn more in general? How can they get in touch?
So everything about me and my career is on LinkedIn, if anyone wants to check it out. And they can find me on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm not very present, to be honest, because I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just trying to help my clients. So I'm posting as much as I can, and when I can, I'm trying to build up, you know, to be able to provide more information to the larger audience, so I can help more people than just face-to-face. So yeah, they can find me on Instagram and Facebook. It's ramona.dietrehab on both of them. And on LinkedIn, it's just Ramona Lehadus, my name.
Awesome. Great. So our guest today has been Ramona Lehadus, who's a nutritionist, and we hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of Nutrigenomic Nation. We hope you join us next time, or we'll pick another topic related to your good health. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ramona.
Thank you, Brian.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.